Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Sina and you're watching Coffee and True Crime. And today I'm going to be talking about another true crime case that happened in South Africa. And this one is really sad because this case hasn't been solved, even though it happened in 2017. So before I get into my video, I would like to send out a brief disclaimer that I do not hope to hurt anyone's feelings or trigger anyone or open any old wounds when I do these videos. I'm just doing them for documentation purposes and keeping the spirits and the memories of the victims alive. So I'm going to be starting this case the same way I've been starting most of my cases, with the timeline of when the body was found and sort of like paint a picture of how the body ended up getting there. But this one is also another case that has a lot of missing information. This case has a lot of missing information. This case has suspects who are released, who are still roaming the streets. This case has a lot of what I personally think is police not wanting to basically solve it. And I don't know why. I don't know why the police are working so slow. I don't know if it's because the police in that particular part of South Africa lack resources or whatnot. But yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about that. But this is an unsolved murder case of a lesbian woman that happened in 2017. So I'm going to be starting it with the timeline of when her body was found and sort of like describing the whole thing as it happened. And like I said, the case is not solved yet, so it's going to be a relatively short case. And one thing I realized is that I'm going to try and sort of like include like the short cases so that I can be able to have time to work on like the other big cases, because actually this case I've been working on it for a minute now, but I thought I would find some information or more information about it, but I haven't. And I would also kind of like to bring it back to the, I guess, public awareness so that people can maybe do what they can if there's something that anyone can do to help this case get solved quickly. So on the 4th of April in 2017, in an area known as seisoville in a township known as maokeng in Kroonstad in the Free State, a badly charred body of a person was found just meters away from an evangelist church. Yeah, evangelist, evangelical. Yeah, yeah, evangelical. A badly charred body of a person was found, and this body, as much as it was badly charred and it didn't have anything else, this body did have an identification document or an ID to basically that could tell who this body was. And it later turned out that the body had been the body of 28-year-old lesbian woman known as Nonkie Smous. And Nonkie had been living in the seisoville community for a long time. She has lived there all her life, and she was a lesbian woman. And Nonkie also worked as a welder part-time, and one of her friends described her as somebody who was known by everyone, a lovely person, and somebody who always just wanted to make everyone happy. And one of the things that her friend said was that Nonkie was just like, this whole thing happening in their community was so strange. She was like, everybody was surprised because things like this don't happen. She actually said that the gays and the lesbians of that community actually said that it was a nice place for, I guess, members of the LGBTQI community to live in. So everybody was surprised, everybody was shocked, everybody was kind of like taken aback also. And what happened had been that Nonkie had left her house on Saturday saying that she was going to a funeral, but she never returned. And when she didn't return, her family was worried and they started looking for her, but there was nothing that could sort of help them find her until that day when her body was found near the church in seisoville in Maokeng. So, and like the people of that community said that the night before they had actually seen what looked like smoke coming from that area, but I don't know why anybody didn't go to investigate the matter and all of that. And Nonkie's murder happened just, I think, a couple of weeks later, when the LGBTQI community in Kroonstad had just celebrated Pride with a march in Bloemfontein and a huge party. So I guess they were trying to sort of like, because every single time when movements like Pride happen, it's sort of like to make the people aware and for people to sort of like accept members of the LGBTQI community. And at this point, even then, there had been surveys from activist groups such as Love Not Hate and another activist group. They had done a survey together that said that 41% of members of the LGBTIQ community are murdered. 41% of members of the LGBTI community are murdered, and it is usually due to their sexual orientation. Like, it's never just like, I mean, murder is bad, all of it, but when people of the LGBT community die, they're killed because they are gay. And this was like a really strange case because even though the body had been identified with an ID, the police were like, nope, we're going to need to do more DNA testing. And the DNA testing would take the family a whole month, would take the police a whole month for the police to do and complete and for them to release Nonkie's body to be buried. And before that was the DNA testing and everything. Actually, 3 men had been arrested for Nonkie Smous's murder. And one of the things that the police also said was that Nonkie's body looked like she had been raped before she was burnt to death, or her body was burnt. She was probably raped, killed, and then burnt to, her body was burnt to sort of like destroy the evidence. And um, so the police had 3 suspects in custody, and the names of these suspects have never been revealed, have never been released. I've been looking and trying and checking to see if I could find anything, but the names have never been released of these 3 suspects. And after that, 2 of the suspects' names were dropped from the charge list and only 1 person remained. But this 1 person that remained, his name is also not known, and he was only charged with robbery because Nonkie's sneakers and cell phone were found in his possession. And after that, and even at that time, the police did not want to give the media statements. They did not want to talk to anyone. And one of the reasons that I read that was absolutely, I don't know how that works. The police said that there was nothing they could do because they were waiting for, I guess, like somebody high up or somebody in charge to give them the go ahead. And that person was apparently on leave. So, like I said, after that, the 3 suspects were arrested. One of them was only charged with robbery, and he was also even released before Nonkie's body could be released for her family to bury. And one of the things that one of Nonkie's friends who spoke out, said was that all those 3 men live in our community and they knew Nonkie, and even they used to hang out with them and party and drink and do all sorts of things with them. So she was just like, she was very heartbroken and also very confused as to why they would want to do anything like that. But I think one of the most heartbreaking things definitely about this case is the lack of movement. I mean, this case happened in 2013 and 2017, I'm sorry, and it's 2020 now, and the case hasn't been solved. There isn't that much information about the case or the case documents online. It's just like, it was one of those confusing cases, but I wanted to bring it out because Nonkie was not just like a member of the LGBTQI community, but she was somebody that was also involved in movements. Her and her friends were involved in movements of just educating the public about safety when it comes to different types of things. They were people that were just like, I mean, trying to they were just trying to live their lives and things like that. break my heart. And her friends have been fighting, and they're still fighting to make sure that her case is solved. But up until this point, the case is not solved. So yeah, that is the gruesome case of the gruesome murder of a lesbian woman known as Nonkie Smous. And this case is really, I mean, I just get so upset. I just get really, really upset because I see cases that happened before it, and I see cases that happened after it that was solved quickly. And I'm just like, why is this particular case taking this long? I don't know if it's because the community there, like I said, maybe they don't have enough resources or whatnot. But if anybody catches this video and they can help and they can sort of like share any information about the case, hopefully they can send it to the Kroonstad police district in Maokeng in seisoville, so that this case may be put to bed and that maybe Nonkie can rest in peace. And that's it for now. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be alerted every single time I post a video. Thank you. Bye.